this time. Oh, that's awesome. And we're live on Friday afternoon. How are you, Mike?
I'm good. I saw that where somehow my phone sent out that text that I had a dental emergency.
Oh, no, no. That was the guy that I talked to about like creating stuff for everything we're doing. That's the thing. He did that. He basically contacted me and said, I'll call you tomorrow. He said, I'm down three teeth and I can't feel my face.
Okay, yeah. I was like, I thought it was one of those when you can set up your phone where it'll leave a message. Like
No, no, no. This was me.
can't
This was
can't
the
take
guy
your call now, or yeah. And I thought, well, how did that happen?
So that's
No, I've been online the last 15 minutes trying to Google why my iPhone sent a message out that I had a dental emergency. And I would Google that, and the only thing that would come up was Aspen dental ads.
What's so
So
funny? What's so funny is that this day that I think has been one of the most miraculous events in terms of like making this dream a reality. It's been so fun to just make sure that you know like how big deal this is and how quickly it's happening. I mean, it's really happening quickly.
well, I hope so.
I know,
I
I
hope
know
so.
so. I know. So, how's your Friday been?
My day, I got a lot of rest. I slept late today. It's
Good.
when you're going through medical things. I mean, you when you can get the rest, you go ahead and do it.
Oh yeah.
And then I had a let's see, right after I talked to you today, I had a text message that I missed a doctor's appointment yesterday. And
Oh no.
well, I had to call them and I said, I don't know. I was at the wound doctor and I'm there and they've scheduled me for 5 days a week of a mornings doing this hyperbaric thing. And I go and I had my mom at an appointment yesterday. My primary doctor's appointment was yesterday afternoon. And that's what I told mom. I said, I just have too much on my plate. I go, I've got to get you to your doctor and I got to arrange that so I can get you there, get you up to the office, get you in there. And then I got to get to my foot doctor. And then I got to somehow get back and get you. And then I got to, and I just, what is it? My planner book that's got all my stuff in it. There's just so much stuff. I just bypassed my original doctor, but I think the only thing she was going to talk to me about was the diabetic thing that I had a long, long time ago.
Right.
And now I haven't been on any medicine like in 8 years. And ever since this foot thing all started, I haven't been on any diabetic medicine. And they check your AC1 every month or every so often. I don't know how they do it through blood work, I guess. And she said originally when I came in, my AC1 was something like 13. It was real high,
Well,
and
that's
then boom, I got it down to 6. And
good.
she goes, that's phenomenal. So yesterday they told me that the last two have both been at 7.1. And I
Good.
said, well, I'm not a doctor, but most people I hear, if that's right next to 6. They said, well, 7 and up is diabetic, and 6 and
Right.
down you're okay.
Uh,
Well, in doctor language, yeah, 7 and up is diabetic. They got to draw that line somewhere. So
right.
I'm sitting there, and I got my friends, Darren, and different people said, if you're not taking any medicine and you're trying to watch what I eat the wrong things sometimes, but
Sure.
you're not having to take any medicine and you're staying down around 7.
Right.
They go, man, that is nothing to gripe about
That's
diabetic
good.
wise. So it's been a real rush the past couple of days, and it's going to get that way starting Monday. And
What time are those appointments? Are you going to be able to make them up?
10 o'clock every morning.
Sounds good to me.
10 to 10. They say get there about 9:30, and it'll start 10, and I'm in there about 45 minutes or something like that. And then by the time you get out and get dressed, you got to get out of the scrubs and put your clothes on. And
Right.
they said you can just count on a couple hours a day, but that's fine with me. Hey,
Yes, definitely. Now, also, I just want to mention about this whole thing that I sent you today, which was not intended to cause any alarm, because this guy, Michael Canales, love his artwork. He's going to create an artwork package for this show that we're doing. And that's so
awesome.
cool. And so amazing to see how all these pieces have fit together. I really love this guy. I know him around. He's a friend with my agent, so that's how it all come about. And I think it's amazing news for Friday. A good way to start.
Keep talking.
I'll keep talking. I'll definitely do that. I hope there's going to be a friend here. I hope there's going to be a new friend.
Whoa, let's go show you. A friend of mine that does artwork.
Okay.
Back in the days, this was from Rock Bottom.
Oh, yes. Wonderful.
He did this.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. That's super cool. Can you text me that as a picture so I can put up?
Yeah,
That's
I will.
awesome.
I will. His name's Donald Jones, and he was awesome. And his brother Dennis does all the coloring books and everything for Disney and Six Flags and everything.
That's
and
awesome.
Donald's just as good. Some Dennis Jones. Sometime look that up and just look at some of his stuff he does. And Donald, years ago, he got on at Silver Dollar City. Donald was a neat guy because we'd go running around on weekends, and Donald had a little one of those old houses over by SMS, on one of the little streets there. Mm-hmm. He had his big player piano, and Friday night, Saturday night, he'd sit in his house in there having some iced tea and just sit and play piano, and sing. And such a neat guy. We were like, oh, come on, let's go run around. We might find some dates or something, some girls. And I'm just gonna. He's just a really nice guy. And he worked at Silver Dollar City, and he worked a deal with them where he would do cartoon caricatures,
right?
And it was on Silver Dollar City paper. It had their logo, and there was a percentage thing there where he got so much, and he'd sit down there on a rocking chair on a little porch and do these, and he's really good. He's really good at it, and
clearly,
well, it ended up he made so much money that they got rid of him basically because his original contract, they figured out that he was making too much money off them. So they kind of did away with his job. And then he ended up getting on with Assembly of God. And I guess to this day, that's probably what he does, all their artwork and anything that they
he need to get him too. But having artwork for this show, you're the ticket show. I love that. That's so awesome.
Well, that's a cartoon. That's pretty much what I looked like back in those days. I had a mustache.
I know. I remember.
Stuff. And he even made me a clay figure that you can set on your table.
Right.
It's about 10 inches, 12 inches tall, or maybe shorter. It's all made out of clay, and it was kind of like that.
Right.
Except he had it was funny because for the shirt, he put a Boston Bruins hockey shirt on, with a big B.
Right.
I mean, that was just kind of rock and roll, Boston.
Sure.
And, and I don't know whatever happened to it. Probably. I can't believe I lost it. But it's, that's another thing. My friend Sid that plays the bass and harmonica and all that stuff. Sid does all these characters where he takes clay and makes them. And I often told Sid if he was doing anything with us, he can have a little spot out in the lobby where
he's going to be in
characters.
We know that.
Yeah, I think that would be good. Hey, just a general question.
Sure.
These COVID shots, have you done that?
I have not.
Well, I haven't either. And I know Sid, he did his, but he had a piece of paper, I guess he got in the mail or something that says, do you just have to end up getting a piece of paper that says you can do that or not?
I don't even know what is involved.
I don't either. I know a lot of people. I know people that I know on Facebook that are getting it.
Right.
And then my doctor that I missed my appointment, she said she took her first one on Christmas Eve, and by the next day she was sick for like a week. But
my mom got her first one, and then she got COVID, and so I'm actually in quarantine until March 3rd. But I've not gotten it. I don't expect to. but just saying, it's funny because she so loves this show and loves you every day. And make sure that everybody, gets on here and shares the show because this helps us tremendously.
Yeah, and the COVID shot things, I don't know. I think if you've survived this whole year and not got it because of being careful and this and that.
Yes.
I mean, it's not a dead fact that these shots are they might in a couple months be worth it. You never know when they're going to pop up. Oh, you got to get this other shot to contradict the one that we gave you because we found out it's got problems with that.
Exactly.
I don't know. My mom, she said, what should I do I said, you're 89. I don't think I'd mess with it right now. I think I just keep living life the way you're living it.
Right.
But that's kind of another way to think of it. Let's see. Okay, if 9/10 of the people all get shots, well, then the rest of us, we really don't need to because they're all trying to stop it. So
I think we need to just make sure that we're wearing our masks and being careful when we go out and all this stuff. And just make sure that we're paying attention and treat this as seriously as it is, as seriously thing as it is.
Yeah, checking into the different, giving blood in the different hospital things. They ask you all the questions. Have you done this? Have you done this? Have you had this? Have you feel? Are you coughing? Are you sneezing? Are you? The answer is all just no, 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 no. They ask you if you've been around anywhere that could have had somebody with COVID.
Sure.
I'm like, no. And that went through my head when they were asking me that the other day. I wanted so bad to go, well, I did host a karaoke party at a big club with a bunch of people singing, and I didn't see a single mask there. I thought, shoot, no, I'll be in the back room getting the test, done.
Exactly.
And it's
you get the treatment.
And I didn't really know, and they ask you, have you had a test recently? And well, I did one time I was in a hospital, but I didn't know how to answer because I thought, well, if I say no, are they going to make me stick the thing up my nose again? Or if I say yes. So I figured out if you said no, it's like, okay, so I've got that down. If I go to give blood or whatever, when they take your temperature and then when they ask those questions, have you had this, I just like, no. Every answer is no. And it's one of the questions is have you had a cough or sneezing or diarrhea? That's one of them. And I want to go, I've had a problem in that area for the last 4 or 5 years,
right?
Which a lot of people do. I mean, I read about people that get those problems, the irritable, whatever, and it lasts a long, long time because it's just something to do with the in their probiotics and stuff. But anyway, yeah, I was just laughing because every time I go to the doctor, I've got it down. I know what to say. No. I'm not even sure what they're asking, but I figured it out, and then they give you a sticker to put on that says basically they ask you the questions. It's red or orange or green or whatever, and you don't want to leave there and go to the super center or the grocery store to buy some groceries, and you got your hospital sticker on. So I have threw so many of those out just.
Without a doubt.
I threw them in the trash, and sometimes I just throw them out. Now that's littering. But I just look at it. They're still real stickable. I just put it on here like 30 minutes ago. So
help be clear.
I didn't really litter. I just threw it out in case somebody just wants to pick it up and use it for a decoration on their clothes. But yeah. But anyway, health-wise, where were we at? Let's jump off.
We're at just talking about you and COVID and everything else. Talking about you. All the stuff we're doing. I mean, this is such a cool story. What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. Right across from where I live, if I go over on 76 and walk across the street right there, they had a little in Nashville. I went out. I hustled anyway to make money.
Sure.
And I was doing some different Mexican restaurants, hosting karaoke. Number one, they weren't a bar, so you didn't have a bunch of drunk people. You had families, and they could bring their kids, so it was all fun. And in Mexican restaurants, it was. And what would happen is the Mexican restaurants, say a Tuesday night, would have, we sold 8 dinners tonight, all night long, I said, well, I can put this in here and parents will bring their kids and people will come out. Instead of selling 8 dinners, you're going to sell 28 dinners.
Right.
And so anyway, it was a big thing down in
Sure.
Nashville, a lot of the Mexican restaurants. And when I got here, I went around to different Mexican restaurants telling them the same thing. What's your slow night? Wednesday, we don't have very much. Well, what if I can make that really big? But anyway, there was a Mexican place right across the street from me. And I went in and talked with them one time. They even had a little table and a little PA system set up. I go, let's try this out some, and I'll just show you how to increase your business.
Right.
Because I think in business, sometimes instead of telling people what you can do, you tell them what you can do for them,
Right.
how it's going to help them. And these people, they went, well, we don't know. We think about it. We maybe, I don't know.
Right.
So I noticed this week, boom, it was all a brown building. It was the fajita, blah, blah, blah. They painted over the whole sign. They repainted the whole building black and gray.
Okay.
I'm trying to think what is black. And then I got to thinking, I think Burger Kings are painted kind of black and gray with red, I think. And I thought, man, if somebody put there's McDonald's here and a Sonic, but there's nothing like Burger King or Kentucky Fried or those.
Right.
Somebody would put something like that right there because it's right in the middle of 76.
Right.
Oh my gosh, you have an instant crowd. I mean, there's a Chick-fil-A up the road. You can't ever go there because they get the dining rooms open, but they got people outside, and there's always 2 lanes of 20 cars in each lane lined up. And it is good. It is a good food. But anyway, it's just another place I'm seeing everybody down here is going nut, trying to get stuff ready for this year. If the pandemic thing goes good,
it's going
that's good. I did see on the news today where the United States sent airstrikes over on the border, Iraq and Iran right there. So I didn't read into it, but I'm like, man, we don't need to be well, then you get into politics, but we don't need to be sending airstrikes over there. All of a sudden.
I'm going to give you a little bit of good crane news I got today.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Because I'm running out of stuff.
My friend Travis Hughes, who has been a very wonderful character, he's been giving COVID updates on podcasts regularly. And Travis wants to learn how to do podcasting and broadcasting. And I love that. I love helping him because, he's special needs. Love that guy. And how fun will it be when we get to have our own little Travis Hughes show? How cool is that?
Well, that's very cool. I think it's anybody that wants to be outgoing and try new things. That's
right. Trying to make something.
I was watching a thing last night on this Mike Snowden, the guy that I'm so impressed with Cigar Boss guitar. He does a 3-string Thursday where sometimes he plays, sometimes he shows you some licks or whatever. Sure. He was on there last night about a new type of guitar, and he's like, some of you people don't realize I've been making these for 10 years and I've made over 2,000. And he said, here's one that's just different looking. He showed how he'd taken a wooden box and then he took metal and cut out a shape kind of like a Les Paul and put that on the box. So it's wood and then that. And he goes, this is kind of weird looking, but it's got the pickups on it. He goes, but it sounds great. He said, sometimes you just got to go out and try new stuff, do new things. Just don't be afraid to go out there and do it. And so that's like him. Mike Brown, my friend Mike, he is all about he's always wanted to just have his own radio show. He calls it a radio show. Because that's one of the things we used to talk about if we had a theater. We definitely have a studio there to have a radio show. And then he even took it on to the, I've got some really good video cameras. That would be good. That would be good. Their HD quality and stuff like that. They would be good for that. But he said we would have somebody that just goes out in the town during the day and interviews different people from different towns to put on this show, Right. Have a little segment. What's happening today in Branson? And here's a few of the people we talked to. So Mike's all about that type of stuff.
Right.
And
again, I just think that Travis Hughes being special needs and having his own podcast or broadcast, I love that idea. I love that.
Yeah, it's I don't know if I know him or not.
You don't know him because he was younger than me, so he's like 20
Well,
years.
there were some Hughes guys that were older than me.
That
were up in the Clay Hoffman era and Chastain and those guys.
The Chastain here, I love that.
Gary Chastain, I guess he's still around. I
love Gary Chastain. What a good guy. And let's go out talking about that era. So, tell me some good stories from that era.
Those are just guys. We were the younger guys looking up to them and thinking how cool they were, and they were just like your old movies that you'd see on TV, like kind of like Grease, Grease, or movies back in the day when all the guys had their leather jackets on and they were just all cool. And
yes.
I knew a guy. His name was Milton Murray.
Okay.
He drove a 55 Chevy, drive it to school, and this was just small town, and everybody had their cars that they'd park and drive to school. In Tennessee, I did a homecoming prom at a school down by a private Centerville Lake or something, down by a kind of ritzy lake area outside of Nashville. And it was at the school when I was setting up, and they said, "See all those cars out there? There's Lexus, they're naming BMWs and all these cars." I go, "Yeah, why? Gee, is that all the teachers? Are they just getting paid a bunch here or something?" They go, "That's all the kids that go to school here."
Oh my gosh!
I go, "All those sports cars out there, those are all the kids." Oh, they go, "Yeah, these kids, they just told mom and dad what they wanted, and mom and dad bought it because we're down in this big lake area, and it's
right."
But yeah, in Crane, those were the guys that ran around in the always had their leather jacket on, and good guys. And they didn't, if you were younger, they didn't treat none of you any different. They treated you just like them. But they were always into mischief. I mean, those guys 24/7 were trying to figure out some way to jack around with somebody. I probably learned a lot from just watching them.
Oh yeah.
Because I do that too. And what I've done as far as DJ work, especially in karaoke, I'm as a karaoke host in Nashville, because I was in Nashville, and every other person that wanted to sing, of course, I met some really, really good singers there that I'm talking, no, there's good karaoke singers, and then there's people that you don't even need to be in here singing karaoke. You're just so good, just so natural to you. And actually, when they would get up and sing, they weren't reading the words. They just knew the song, because reading the words and knowing it are two different things. But I told you, all kinds of people, they go, "What do you think? How'd I do?" I go, "You sucked." They go, "I sucked." Yeah. Yeah. That's just putting it mildly.
Right.
Did I really? I sucked there. No, I'm just kidding. When actually I was venting. Actually, I did think they sucked, and then I had a lady, she comes up to me, and, "Oh, this lady, she's probably, I was 60 years old or whatever. Gee, I'm older than her then." But anyway, she comes up and she goes, "Is your sound system any good?" And I told you, I use all Bose.
Right.
I use some real expensive stuff, and it sounds phenomenal. I have never had anybody where I did karaoke didn't come up and they go, "First of all, where's your PA system?" I go, "It's those long, 8-foot tall, skinny poles. They got like 28 little speakers on them." They go, "There ain't no way that is making this noise." Well, look around. If you find some other speakers, let me know. And I had corporate guys come up to me from the back of buildings, and they say, "Can you turn your PA system down? We're trying to visit back there." Where is your PA system anyway? And it just made me so proud I was using it. But this lady that night, she goes, "Oh, is your system any good?" I go, "I don't know. I think it's probably the best you'll ever sing on as far as going out and doing karaoke somewhere." But I go, "It's up to you." Well, I'm a professional, and I only sing if the system's real good. I said, "Well, I tell you what, you just sit back and listen to this one for a little while." And I go, "If you don't sing, I'll be perfectly happy with that. That's fine with me."
Right.
I go, I'm just telling you, you're just another singer, okay? And she goes, well, I was professional. I go, how was you a professional? Well, I was in a house band out in New England,
Oh yeah.
in a house band.
Right.
I said, well, I guess that makes me a professional. She goes, well, what have you done in your life? I go, well, let's see. I was supposed to be the guitar player for Trick Pony. I was David Allen Cole's band for a little while. I did some shows in Branson, Missouri. I started naming off stuff. I named about 30 things. I go, now, do you want me to keep going or can we just stop there? Well, she goes, well, how come you're doing karaoke? I said, to pay my bills. And so I get to meet people like you. And yeah, it's 5 minutes. She's up there going, I guess I'll sing. I guess I'll sing.
Yes.
Okay.
Just give
But
people a chance.
yeah, I could do karaoke in my sleep, but it would it was I don't know, karaoke.
It's not the same
It's
thrill
fun.
as
It just
performing live.
Well, out west, like California and stuff, their karaoke clubs out there are basically where people come in and they pay to sing,
Right.
but they have a stage and all their singers are their show of a night. Imagine that theory, having
Right.
people out of the crowd be your show.
Uh-huh.
And so instead of somebody getting up just doing karaoke song, everybody's dancing and those are your entertainers all night long.
Oh yeah.
And it's just totally, and then what I was doing was just, just karaoke, pick a song, and
Right.
I get the Spanish people come up. Oh, you got the little name off some Spanish name, and I go, I don't have a clue. I go, I don't speak Spanish. I don't read Spanish. I go, here's a book with a lot of them in there. If you can look through that, or type it in on my computer, and we'll hit enter, and I'll see if I've got it. But I was like, but they were always nice people. They would tip you really good, and
Good.
I don't know. I did all that stuff for a long time down there. It was in Nashville, as if you've ever been there, you well know downtown. You can go watch live music at 50 different places, and like every 2 or 3 hours, they switch band. I mean, if you go to play down there, it's a pain because you just park on the street and unload your stuff out the door, your amp and your guitar and stuff, and then you got to go pay for parking. And they all get a little bit of money and pay for tips. I mean, it's really stupid jobs because the guys doing it, they're having fun, but I don't see how they're paying to live.
Right.
And I did that once. I sat in a little bar. Guy gave me an afternoon slot to see if I liked it.
Uh-huh.
Man, every other person come through the door. Oh, I'm Jim. I play guitar. You care if I get up and sing a song? Down there, it's about being nicer. Okay, yeah, go ahead and sing one. And then that's my friend Barry. He sings one. Can you do one after me? Before you know it, your 2 or 3 hours there are taken up from other people coming in wanting to sing a song. And I was like, and they told me one time, the guy that hired me down there, he said, man, you can take breaks. I go, I'm here like 2 or 3 hours. I'm just going to sit and play and sing. And that's what I like to do. I don't care about taking a break. I said, if I get tired, I will. But Nashville, it was interesting. It was interesting to be there. And I miss it. But at my age, I mean, I'm not into going out and doing the bar hopping of a night every night. And there's some real good players down there just making no money doing anything.
Robert's Western, that whole South Broadway is so fun. Absolutely. Love that.
Oh, it is. It is. It's oh gee, we're about out of time.
We are. We sure are. And just saying again, this is Knee Deep in Rubber, 4 o'clock to 4:30 every day. We try to get on and get off at a reasonable hour. Get this thing done right as we start to get closer and closer to having a theater.
That's right. Okay.
Good way to end it.
I'll see you Monday.